Yeah, I thought I'd just try to share something if you're having fuel injector issues. I'm not the best instructor in the world. I'm not the best at making instruction videos, but I'll do the best that I can. But one issue, if you're having fuel injector problems, one issue that you're going to have to consider is the ignition control module that is in the base of the distributor. It sits right here. Here's the you've got a connector that comes out of this module right here that goes to the ECM, and this should be a four-way connector. I'm trying to bear with me. I'm doing the best I can, but here's some other pictures of the ignition control module. You're going to see your 4-terminal connector coming out of the base of the distributor. And here's the base of the distributor. There's your ignition control module. Another picture of your ignition control module. It has a lot of wiring going to it, so I have some experience that I can tell you mine was brittle and cracked all to pieces. You'll have all these wire and connectors coming out of it. The situation with your ignition control module, you can see here with your ignition switch, turned off, that's an open circuit. So you have no power going to the injectors at all. As soon as you turn your key on, this is hot. These are hot. So the only thing that the electronic control module is waiting on, and we're not talking about fuel pressure here, we're only talking about voltage and wiring, but your two fuel injectors, aside from being circuits 467 and 468 wired over into your ground at the electronic control module, your hot wires are running down to your fuses. The fuses are tied in to your HEI distributor right into your ignition control module. The ignition control module has a 4-terminal connector that runs straight over to your electronic control module. It has your HEI bypass, your reference wire, your electronic spark time control, and your ground, 453, your ground. 3, 19, 2, and 10. But going back to your dual injector select, pin number 6. If this ground right here, 450, is open, you're only going to get power to one of the fuel injectors. The other one's not going to get. And then you're going to have to go and check ground number 6, ground number 8, number 9. That's pins 11. I'm sorry. Pin number 6, 8, and 9. If the electronic control module does not see any activity out of your distributor within 2 seconds, it's going to shut the fuel pump off. And that's going to be probably a problem with this ignition control module here, or one of these wires, one of these connectors. I can tell you mine were brittle, totally broke apart. Yeah, I made another video about that. But Hate to keep going back over this, but these are these connectors, these four-way HEI connectors are plastic. So with the amount of heat that's involved inside of these distributors and down by the engine like that, they're plastic. If they've been in there for 34 years, it's probably brittle. So this is something you're going to have to check out. But 481, 482, the hot wires, as soon as you turn the key on, these are hot. Both of these wires tie right into the HEI distributor. If the electronic control module does not see any activity out of the distributor within 2 seconds, which is not a lot of time, it's just going to turn the fuel pump off, regardless of what happened with your fuel pump relay or your oil pressure switch. It's just going to shut it off. So this is something that you have to look at. And this dual injector select switch, select pin, the way it's grounded. But circuits 481 and 482 go to the fuses, and they supply ignition voltage to the injectors. So you're going to have to probe each connector terminal with a test light to ground somewhere, where you can find a ground, to see if these circuits are okay. If you put a test light on your injectors and you crank the engine over, you should see the light blinking on either injector. And if you're getting a light, then you've got power to your injectors. If you're not getting spray from one of the injectors, but you're getting spray from the other one, if you look at the wiring diagram from the electronic control module, pins number 8 and pin number 9, circuits 467 and 468 are the grounds. You can see they're grounded. Pin number 8 and 9. The ECM puts a pulse to it, grounds it, and that is what operates the fuel injectors. But one of the issues is on the Crossfire, you've got a dual injector select ground. Pin number 6. You can see right there, it's a ground, 450, where 6 is grounded. If that ground, that it's a white wire, if that's open, if this ground right here is open, only one of the injectors is going to fire. You won't get fire from the other one. You'll only get fire out of one injector. But if this ground is okay, then you need to check the ground. If this ground is okay, then you need to check the grounds at 6, 8, and 9. And if they're all okay, then you've got a problem inside your electronic control module.